There we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. That took forever. Waiting for Wolfie to bark. Could hear him breathing in the background, but he wasn't barking. There he is. But yes, welcome back to Far Lands or Bust, episode 220. Episode 220 on our way walking to the Far Lands in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. The last version of the game to contain the Far Lands. I think we got everything. East, west, here we go. Gosh, we would have been making so much more ground if you had just barked from the get-go, but no, somebody had to be a little bit stubborn today, didn't we? So yeah, anyway, we're back. We're beyond such things. Back in Far Lands or Bust. We are now at $13,395 raised for Child's Play charity over at farlandsorbust.com. I appreciate all the donations, even over the weekend. Obviously, I mentioned before that Minecraft Marathon was going on over the weekend. That apparently went well. I'm still waiting to hear about what the final totals from them. But that seemed like it went well. And I might do a really quick separate video for that. I recorded a little bit of they were attempting the record attempt for connecting to a Minecraft server. And when it was up and I was able to connect, I recorded a few seconds of footage. So maybe I'll do just a really quick recap and congratulations to them with whatever their final numbers may be. They also auctioned off some Minecon 2012 badges that myself, Good, BOO, Pause, Generic B, who else was there? Most of us who were there signed, and then also Captain Sparkles and other YouTubers signed these badges, and they auctioned them off, and one of them went for $250. So, woo! All that going straight to Child's Play charity. So, yeah, we're all going for the same cause, helping kids in hospitals around the world through Child's Play charity. Get some toys, books, and games to keep their minds off of whatever reason they're in there, short or long term, and helps them be kids. It's a great cause. And the reason we continue to walk for the children, right, Wolfie? You are just not talkative today. Okay. It's just weird. I don't understand, there must be some sort of algorithm or something, because it's not like he responds to any input. Wolves in general will just bark on a random up and down, no rhyme or reason. Oh, right over the top of your head. Yeah, woof, there we go. Spelunk wants to go for a swim. But yeah, we definitely support them, and we thank you guys for continuing to support Far Lands or Bust. A castle. I wanted to, I feel like, I could be wrong. I know a lot of people enjoyed the last few episodes of Far Lands or Bust. There was one where we talked a lot about my interests and my thoughts on fear and the psychology and my history and my interest with that and anxieties and social phobias and things like that. There was another episode that we spent the entire episode talking about the meteor that fell over Russia. And then the last episode, we talked a lot about the PlayStation 4. Moo! The PlayStation 4 announcement thing. And I felt like that can get a little bit exhausting, to be honest. I mean, it's fun, and it's really nice that I have all this stuff to talk about. But it just feels a little bit... I don't know if the term heavy-handed is right, but it feels heavy. It just feels a little bit overbearing. So I felt like keeping things a little bit more light today. So I went on Twitter a few hours ago and was like, hey guys, I feel like just having a sporadic episode with just a bunch of little topics and questions. So I asked the people of Twitter to give me quick, lighthearted, or upbeat questions that I can answer in this episode of Far Lands or Bust, so I will do such things as these. Whoa, careful, Wolfie. Some of these have been asked before, but some of them are just really quick. I don't have to sit here and extend the episode by an additional day because I don't finish answering one of these questions, so... Woo! Hope you guys, I like to mix things up. Sir Mix-a-Lot, you can call me. I like to mix things up, keep things interesting. If I do the same thing every single episode... Oh. You're rather happy, aren't you? There we go. If I do the same thing every single episode, even I would get bored and not want to continue recording, so... Let's get started with some questions from the Twitterverse. The first one from Cataratic. Are you back to the French press, speaking of coffee, or have you purchased something else yet? For those of you who don't know, I think I updated in a Farlands or Bust, or some episode, definitely on Twitter. I had purchased a Chemex after talking to Zisto. I purchased a Chemex. I had been using for years the French press to make my coffee, but I purchased a Chemex and had been using that for about a month and a half, and then I broke it. Broke it while trying to wash it in the sink. So, broke it, and then I went back to the French press for a while, and I was looking for a replacement. I'm like, gee, do I want to get another Chemex only to break it again? They're pretty... I dropped it, and it chipped. They're pretty fragile, but I mean, I guess if you're careful, you'd be alright. But, ooh. Overhangs. But I'm like, do I want to get another Chemex? Or do I want to try something else? So what I've done is I've actually just, within the last week, this is a very apt question. The last week, I got a Hario, Hario, V60. It's basically a Chemex. There's the funnel on the top, but it's just the funnel part, and it's made out of ceramic as opposed to glass. And then you put a filter on the top, and then you can either put the little funnel on top of your coffee mug and just brew it that way on a cup by cup basis, or you can do so on the top of another serving device. Which is what I'm doing. Actually, it fits pretty well on the French press pot, which might not be exactly recommended. It's a little bit, you got to be careful. But so what I do is I put the Hario, I'm going to call it that. That's how I'm pronouncing it. Whether or not it's wrong, I don't care. On top of my French press pot, you put the filter on the top. Coffee in there, and then it's very similar to the Chemex brewing. You have very slow circular pouring, and goes a little bit quicker. You need a little bit finer grinds. Basically just pour the water, hot water, 205 degrees over the top, and then it drains through and then falls into the what I'm using is the French press. My French press carafe, I guess you could call it. Woof. Hey, guy. Okay. Let's hope that guy doesn't see me. And then I have my coffee that way. And then I take that and pour it into my coffee mugs. I have about 3 cups of coffee in the morning. And by cups, I don't mean like 3 of the venti-sized cups that you get at Starbucks. I mean 3 8-ounce small coffee cups of coffee in the morning, which I suppose 8. Yeah, it might be like 1 venti, 20 ounce if they're just about 8 ounces each. Okay, let's go down to this. Ooh. Careful, Wolfie, careful, Wolfie, careful, Wolfie, careful, Wolfie. I know he's not going to be, but careful, Wolfie. Yep. But yeah, I've been doing that, and it's only been like the 4th or 5th day I've been actually using the Hario pour-over brewer, I guess is what it's technically called. And I like it. I feel like I'm getting better hold on, let's go to sleep. Woof! And coffee makingness. Bloop. I feel like I'm getting better flavor out of it than I remember from the Chemex. It took me a while to dial in how to do the Chemex properly, but this one I'm doing pretty good at. the filters are a lot thinner and lightweight than the Chemex filters were. So you get more of the coffee flavor. It's not quite as strong as the French press. Obviously, there's no filter there. You get the full-blown taste and coffee and oils and everything kicking you in the face. So it's kind of an in-between. It's in between the Chemex and a French press. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, which I really like. But it's like a really bright, because it is such a quick, like 2 or 3 minutes, this quick extraction. It's very bright. I'm very happy with it. And I've been doing that. And of course, it's a little bit healthier than the French press, because the French press, as I've mentioned, without having a filter, keeps all the oils and acids in there that actually can, depending on how much you drink or how often you drink it, could do things with your cholesterol that are not too healthy. But so yeah, I've been using it's called a Hario, Hario V60, and I got the size 2, which is the bigger size for making like 3 cups of coffee. There's a size 1, which is actually, you can just do 1 cup at a time. It's just about the size of a cup. You put it over the cup, you do the pour, and there's your cup of coffee. But it's really good. I like it. It's actually, it's the way it's designed, I guess. There's little spirals. There's kind of almost like rifling in the funnel that actually, I guess, helps aerate the coffee and drain the water downwards towards the funnel or something like that. I don't know. There's a bunch of science behind it, but I'm very happy with my purchase, and hopefully it's a lot more robust because it's made out of ceramic, and it's just it's not a whole big thing like the Chemex was, and it's a small thing and easy to clean and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you very much for that question. In a continued Twitter question stream that I got from our good friend Schism Plays on YouTube. Yes, excited for the new Star Trek? I've never been much of a Star Trek fan, to be honest. Growing up, I was more Star Wars, but never been much of a Star Trek fan. I did watch the previous reboot movie. I thought it was good. You know, it's an action movie. I don't think it really has to particularly pertain to the lore or the having any known history of the rest of the series, even though I'm sure it helps. So I'll it's one of those I like seeing those big budget action, careful Wolfie, movies in the theater. So I'll probably end up seeing that in the theater when it comes out regardless. But and also what's his name, Benedict Cumberbatch. I don't know. I don't know how to say his name. I always get scolded by... Oh, God, I just pushed Wolfie off. Sorry. I always get scolded by our proper European English-speaking friends for saying things like Nottingham as opposed to Nottingham. So I don't know if I'm saying that name wrong either. So, yeah, he's Sherlock in the new Sherlock series. He's in that. He's a good actor. So, yeah, I'll see that just to see it. I don't know if I'm excited for it. I'm like, nah, well, I can't wait. I haven't been excited for a movie in a long time. Like, ooh, I can't wait for this to come out. I mean, even like The Hobbit, I'm like, yeah, all right, that's coming up. That's cool. I watched it. It was, okay, that was good fun. But it wasn't like, oh, I'm not going to wait outside and get the midnight showing and stuff like that. So, I'm an indifferent son of a gun, aren't I? Zombles? No. Got a lot of snow. Ugh. I feel like we're getting an inordinate amount of snow. Hi. Well, gee, I hope I fed that to you. You're practically chomping my glasses off. My 3D glasses. Woof. Also from Twitter, Page of Maces, or is it Pagey? Sorry. Asks, sherbet versus ice cream, which is better? I would go with ice cream. That was an annoying sound that just came out of my mouth. I would go with ice cream, but honestly, I haven't had either in a long time. I found that in addition to my recent gluten intolerance, self-diagnosedness, That also, for even longer than that, I've noticed that milk products tend to do unusual things to me, so I tend to avoid ice cream stuff. But of the two, I liked ice cream better than I ever liked sherbet. I was not a fan. I've tried, what's the Italian, like the really strong ice cream? What's that stuff called? It starts with a G. What's it called? I was about to say gluten. No, it's, what's it called? What's it called, Wolfie? We're surrounded by this stuff. It's like the really... ice cream is like whipped and has a lot of air in it, but this is like solid, dense, iced. I swear it starts with a G, does it not? Nah, I just have the word gluten in my head and I can't get out of it. It's... Anyway, that stuff I've tried, and while it tasted very rich and good, that was far too rich, and that definitely caused some problems with the digestive system of KurtJMac. So yeah, I like ice cream. I really liked Rocky Road. For those of you who live in the Chicagoland, Midwest area, you know about spooky noises. You know about Oberweis is a dairy in the area. And they do ice cream, and I always got their... there's the Rocky Road that they make, but also the Turtle Sundae, which was like the ice cream and caramel and salted not pecans. Yeah, maybe they were pecans or walnuts, some sort of nut. It was a very good contrast between the saltiness of the nut and the oh lord, and the sweetness of the caramel and the ice cream and stuff. But yeah, no, not recently. It's been a long time since I've had ice cream. Continuing with the food theme, Ninth Chord asks, what's your favorite condiment? My favorite condiment? Is salsa a condiment? I like salsa, chips and salsa. Especially corn chips now. It's gluten-free. I can have that. I like chips and salsa. I like barbecue sauce, I guess. I mean, I would use ketchup a lot with fries and stuff. I don't know. Hard to say I have a favorite condiment. Specifically because I never really just use one condiment. You know, when I had hot dogs, they were Chicago-style hot dogs. So there was mustard, there was relish, there were onions, there was a pickle, there was little hot peppers, whatever those things are called. So yeah, I rarely just have a single condiment with things. So yeah, kind of. I mean, are like breakfast toppings, like toast toppings, considered condiments, or is that more of a jelly and a jam type situation? A jam, get down and jam session. So yeah, that. Once again, those. What are your favorite questions? Or I'm terrible at those. Ninth Chord also asked a second question. You fit a second question into the 140 characters limit. If you were a type of carpet, what would you be? That's weird. So I'll just answer, what is your favorite type of carpet? Speaking of the floor coverings, of course. Keep your minds out of the gutter. One of my first apartments actually had... It sounds and seems ridiculous, but it was a cheap place, and the guy I was renting from it was nice, and it was his own condo that he was renting, so it wasn't some big corporate apartment unit, you know, you got to deal with all that stuff. But he had recently put in, right before I moved in, a bunch, like the entire place in this very long, like it was shag. It was a shag carpet. But it was, you know, normally you see shag carpet as like a small rug or something like that. Oh, careful. Oh, God, careful. Oh, my gosh. Wolfie, sit. How did you do that? You double jeopardy. Well, now I need to find more pigs. But it was like walking on a cushion. It was just very comfortable to walk on. So I enjoyed that. I'm sure it was a pain. Well, it was a pain to kind of keep clean because it was so shaggy. So the place I live in right now actually has the opposite. It's got a very short kind of, I wouldn't call it Berber carpet, but it's very short. You know, it's still carpets, but it's about as close as you can have to a hard floor, which is also nice because it's easy to keep clean and whatever and stuff like that. But anyway, that is a very random question. Thank you very much. You have achieved the goal of getting a bunch of random, short, lighthearted questions from Twitter. So let's go to sleep and continue answering some more in the third day of this episode. And a floor coverings-ness. Poof. Alright, gotta find some pigs. Woof, Wolfie agrees. Yeah, I mean, what's up with all this snow we're finding? Woof. Random flames in the distance, that's interesting. Woof. Here is, speaking of snow, from ndude737 asked, what kind of fun things are there to... Oh, burp. Burp. What kind of fun things, there's a pig, are there to do in Chicago in the snow? I'm going to be there this weekend. Well, I hope you're not flying in because we're expecting more snow in the next couple days and over the weekend, so... traveling is not one of the fun things to do in Chicago while it's snowing or after it has snowed. Sit, Wolfie, sit. Hey, look at me. Why will you not look at me? Bam. And I don't know. I don't go out in the snow. I mean, we don't obviously have mountains or anything to go skiing. Some places have sledding hills and things like that. I don't know. I am not the best tourism guide for Chicagoland because I personally don't like doing things outside of my house. So I don't know. Go to a zoo, Brookfield Zoo, Lincoln Park Zoo. I'm sure some of the more wintry animals might come out in the snow, I guess. I don't know. Well, otherwise, it's not really a big snow town. The whole town doesn't really shut down because we're familiar with and can deal with snow. All right, how the heck am I going to get over this? Let's get some climbing materials on us. Boop. 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 Woo! So yeah, well, we'll have fun on whatever reason you're coming into town, but I'm sorry I don't have any snow-related activities. From Swedish Dest, did you watch the Daytona 500? Any thoughts on that? I did not watch the Daytona 500. Like I said, I'm not so much into NASCAR as much anymore. I did see all of the news about the unfortunate accident that happened on Saturday. Basically, for those of you who don't know, there's kind of the minor leagues, I guess you could call them, of NASCAR. They usually race at the same track that the main Cup Series is racing at, but the day before, well, they were racing at Daytona, and then the last turn of the last lap across the finish line, there was a big accident, and one of the cars flew up into the net that supposed to protect the fans in the crowd, and broke into like a bunch of pieces, and two of the front wheels and the engine broke through the fence and went into the crowd, and like 30 people were injured, and one of them seriously. I'll have to check. I don't know, like critically injured one of them had head injuries. So that's never a good thing at all. And that's just, I've mentioned it before, I think, that's just one of the problems with that style of racing at Daytona, is they put restrictor plates on the engines, and then all the entire race you're just in a pack, or all the cars are just bunched together because they all have equal amounts of power, and it's just all drafting. And then one wrong move, or everybody gets a little bit impatient at the end, and then crashes and takes out the entire field. So, yeah, that was crazy and unfortunate, obviously. So I hope nobody lost their lives to that in the audience or anything. But no, I didn't watch the Daytona 500. I know Danica Patrick had set a few records for the first woman to get the pole position and also lead a lap. And she finished 8th, I think, so that's pretty cool. But, yeah, not so much into following the NASCAR stuff anymore, to be honest. Also, I don't watch TV. I don't know the last time I actually turned on the TV to watch something that was actually being aired at the time and was not hooked up to my computer and watching Netflix or something like that, so meh. Nintendo Maniac asks, how about that SpaceX launch that's coming up? Yeah, how about it? Yeah, there's another SpaceX, the Falcon 9, the Dragon capsule. This is the third launch to the space station, the first one being the test one that I was attending for the NASA tweet-up. Then there was a second one, was an official resupply, and this is the third flight, but also the second actual resupply flight, so this is actually part of the business as usual. NASA has contracted SpaceX to resupply the space station. That is happening this Friday, March 1st, the launch is due for 10:10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 15:10 GMT. I'll be watching that. There was, and I retweeted, there was and is a NASA social event going on at the same time, and they were asking for people to register. It almost sounded like the way they're doing these things, it seemed kind of last minute. This was last week. I obviously didn't sign up, but I retweeted it. It seems like they're not really doing the random selection anymore. It's kind of like you register for this, and we'll get back to you, and you'll have to confirm your attendance. So it seems like if you sign up for a NASA social, if you do so soon enough, you'll be picked. So keep your eye on that, nasa.gov/social, for any upcoming ones of those. At least with this one, it seemed very last minute that they put the social together. Maybe about 50 people are going to attend for the NASA social part of it. But yeah, I'll be trying, what is that, 10:10, so that's 9:10 a.m. Hopefully I'm up that early on a Friday morning, and we can, I'll be on Twitter, and we can watch it together and stuff like that. Hopefully all goes well for the second official resupply flight of the SpaceX Dragon capsule. So yeah, space news. Nintendo Maniac continued to ask, have I ever been to the Tesla store in Chicago? That's Elon Musk's electric vehicle company, Tesla. No, I haven't. I have not ever seen a Tesla up close and personal, and honestly, that's the first I've heard that there is an actual store in downtown Chicago. But again, I don't go outside of my house. Ever. No. So no, I haven't seen any of that. What do we got? As the sun sets, I think this was a little successful format, asking a bunch of random questions on Twitter. Jans Kalvik asked if aliens invited you to their ship and gave you the opportunity to go anywhere in the universe in an instant, where would you go? Well, to say anywhere in the universe is kind of a tough thing to ask, because you say you want to go anywhere. Does that also mean any time? Because through telescopes, we can see a bunch of galaxies, the furthest of furthest galaxies that we can see of invisible, or it's not even visible, right? Light is probably radio light. Are off 14 billion years in the distance, so we're actually seeing them as they were just after the universe had formed. Yeah, it would be interesting to go visit there, but when we get there, would it be current time? That means they're not 14 billion years old? Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. So I guess I would have to restrict myself to within the Milky Way galaxy if I'm going to want to visit any place as it is now. And I think I'd probably want to go to somewhere like the Orion Nebula to see what it is, or what it looks like close up, but also to kind of investigate those cool, you've seen pictures from Hubble, those little protoplanetary disks, stars that have formed that you can visually see through the telescope images, the little dust rings that are eventually going to coalesce and turn into planets and things like that, so you're kind of getting a glimpse of how our solar system started. That would be cool. I mean, I suppose the obvious choice would be like, okay, take me to where you guys came from to learn about you guys, because they obviously came from some sort of planet. Maybe it doesn't exist anymore, and perhaps they're a spacefaring race. But yeah, I mean, that would be the obvious choice to say, okay, where are you guys from? It was always one of my favorite parts of Carl Sagan's Cosmos was when the first episode, the shores of a cosmic ocean. It's very interesting that I remember the name of the episode, but you know, he's on his little spacecraft of the imagination. Have a seat. And they're flying over a planet. And one of the things that struck me as kind of a very poetic thing to say is he was wondering, what is their language like? What is their culture like? And then one of the questions he asks about, you know, this hypothetical alien population is, what is their music like? And it's just kind of one of those things like you never think about when you try to think about, extraterrestrial life or life on other planets. Even the mundane, what could seem like mundane things, sure, we want to know about their technology and what they know about the universe and their secrets about travel and science and things like that, but something as, I guess, everyday as what does their music sound like is a little bit mind-blowing. Because, I mean, obviously, let's say their atmosphere is a different density, therefore sound waves travel differently there, so perhaps they've invented instruments that take advantage of that, as opposed to our instruments, obviously, our pianos, our wind instruments, the trumpets and horns and things like that. They're all tuned to work well in our atmosphere, the density of atmosphere that allows sound waves to travel through here. What do theirs sound like? Maybe they don't have spoken language. Maybe they... what do I need? Oh, I was going to do this, make more arrows. Of course, I don't have any sticks. How do I not have any sticks? Woof! Wolfie asks the same question. There we go. That's really interesting stuff like that. So yeah, I'd want to go there to see that sort of stuff. Because obviously it'd be completely different from what we're used to. But yeah, that was I like this episode. It felt like it went quicker. I wasn't laboriously going over notes and notes that I had taken about PlayStation releases and things like that. It was just a quick question. So let me know in the comments if you like this kind of stuff, and leave some questions in the comments below so that I can answer them in the upcoming episodes of Farlands or Bust, where we're still raising money for Child's Play charity over at farlandsorbust.com. Click on the little donate button on the end slate. You can head over there and do so yourself. I do appreciate all your continued support. I'm having fun. Episode 220, Farlands or Bust is in the bag. Thank you very much for following along. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time.